I'm Tom.
And I'm Taryn.
Welcome to episode 142 of Bird Squawk.
That was a good win, folks. I know we've had a lot of good wins this year, but that one felt good. Like I said, I was telling him a lot on the way home. That was kind of the first game this year that I was kind of a little suspect about, that I thought maybe could be a good test of this team. I know you can say what you want about the schedule. It is what it is. You play who you are. I've not been a big proponent on the schedule, but still, they haven't really been tested so far. That's a dang good team that came in on Sunday, and they did some whooping, 35-10, man.
Hey, all I heard all last week, national media, all the proponents, everybody talking about the bully was coming to town. The bully had a meeting with us on the playground at 4:30 after school, right? Well, that bully came to town, and I'll tell you what, we sent that bully home crying because their parents had to pick him up. There was a point in that game when I hit my man here, and I said, you believe now? You believe now? Because we put a statement out there, all right? Say what you want. We got more games to go. But that was a big test. That was a big statement. And all we heard all week was how the Tennessee Titans were going to come in and King Henry was going to run wild. Their defense was going to lay the wood. They were going to be physical. Man, they did not even look like they belonged on the same field as us.
Yeah, I mean, they looked really good. Truly a complete team win from top to bottom. This team looked good. I mean, I wasn't too concerned about the defense. This offense, other than the Colts that one hiccup week, they put up points, man. This offense is something else. It was mostly the defense, but they showed up and they handled business without a doubt. But we can start with we'll talk about special teams, man. They made a good improvement as well.
Covey.
But yeah, we'll start with the offense, man. Jalen Hurts, I mean, it was run last week against the Packers, 363 yards, really gashed them that way. And it was the complete opposite this week. 29-39, 380 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, he continues to impress me every week. I know I was a skeptic at times about what this kid could do, but his arm, whatever he did this offseason, and we knew he was going to put in the work, but this is the first time truly all year that we're really sitting down and talking about just the growth that Jalen Hurts has made this year as a passer, as a pocket passer, in fact, and using his arm more than relying on his legs. He's used his legs as a weapon more than as a reliance so far this year, and that's really what the growth I wanted to see from him. And he's just been so good.
Yeah, and I feel like, we did have those question marks that were attached to him. But, I mean, he did show us he's not afraid to put in the work, right? Whatever he did in the offseason, he went out with that Tom House, got his footwork, got his, arm strength, got whatever he needed to do for his accuracy. I mean, the dude is playing at top level. Right?
Yeah, I mean, he's been unbelievable with his arm. I mean, truly unbelievable. Things that I didn't think the dude had in him with the arm capabilities. His deep balls have been beautiful all year, and it continued on Sunday. I mean, those deep balls, the one that AJ caught in the end zone, speaking of AJ, 119, 2 touchdowns. He was that guy. I mean, we all knew this was the game, but he was that guy, and he got the freaking GM fired.
Now, I will tell you, though, it is a big difference when you're throwing to weapons, right?
Yeah.
When you got weapons and you're not throwing to Arcega-Whiteside and Jalen Reagor,
yeah.
Right? They put people around this dude now. We got 2 legit number ones here that come up big. I mean, you're seeing Devontae's making catches when we need catches.
Yeah.
AJ had that little blip where he was putting the ball on the carpet, but hey, we talked about it last week. We said this was going to be a revenge game for him.
Yeah.
This team sounds like they're motivated on revenge, right? And I told you, if you watched last week's podcast, I told you Tom's scouting was we were going to throw the ball on these guys. We were going to be pass happy, but we were going to throw the ball. There were a lot of openings I saw when Cincinnati played them. And, I knew we were going to toss the ball right from the start. But then you look at the defense. I mean, these additions that Howie went out and got, he
yeah.
got us some ballers. I mean, Linville Joseph wants to play.
Yeah.
Sue wants to play. I mean, and it just builds that rotation where we're deep on that line.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I said right when Jordan Davis got hurt and they brought in Joseph and Sue. That kind of like, it was a good stopgap for those couple weeks when Jordan Davis is out. But as soon as Jordan Davis comes back, that's just more depth. I mean, they have been...
And I mean, 30 yards.
Yeah,
We held
30
King
yards.
Anthony.
King
Henry.
Anthony.
King Henry. I don't know where that came from. King Henry to 30 yards.
Yeah, I mean, for this defense, for any defense, but for this defense, kind of the criticisms that they've had the past couple weeks, probably close to a month at this point, that was big. That was really big. And they set the tone from the get-go. He didn't bust even a single run. Those were all 2, 3, 4-yard runs. It's not like he had a big run in there. He was getting hit at the line of scrimmage by the linebackers, by the linemen, even the safeties coming up and making big tackles. Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, the defense, I still never really wavered on them. I know there was a lot of people out there, whatever you want to say about Gannon. They're boom and bust, but I think with the injuries, they're going to continue to get healthy. Avonte Maddox will be back soon. I mean, we got Reed Blankenship back there, filling in for Chauncey. Really, like, still not a lot of weak points. I mean, the Robert Quinn situation's weird. I saw a thing that he was, like, not hurt and he was getting, like, a bye because of the situation, but now he's on IR. Is what it is.
Yeah,
I think he's
there's a story out now. He tweaked the knee in practice. I don't know.
Yeah, not that I'm not worried about it, but the defense, I mean, this team, it's great. We all know how good this offense is, and they are. But at the end of the day, we all know that defense still wins championships in this league. And this defense has been good. If you want to admit it or not, they rank high in a lot of big categories in this league. Turnover differential, just overall defensive play. They're good, man. They're good.
One thing I want to just remind everybody, man, step back a little bit. I know we get caught up in this season as a wow, who's next? Now who's next? Now and we're complaining about this and that. Just step back and enjoy this, man. We're 11-1.
Yeah, I know.
11-1.
The thing is, though, this is kind of where I'm at. I heard on the radio now too. I mean, we've been the big proponent the last couple years about no expectations, but I mean, we're 11-1 at this point. When do expectations become expectations? Like, this ain't like we're throwing stuff around anymore now.
I think really though, once we started this podcast, we kind of lost our Negadelphia.
We tried
feeling.
We tried.
We kept the bar low, right? Because we're totally optimistic, but we've kept expectations low. But like you say, now we're 11-1, man. Expectations are through the roof.
Yeah,
now,
I mean,
right?
really. I mean, the main thing is, I know
Super Bowl or bust.
It's getting to the point that it kind of is like that. But I mean, he talked about that kind of like, when do you think we're real? Like, this was the week to kind of prove it. I mean, I said to him, I don't know. I think I'm kind of at the optimistic that I was at the Phillies, kind of like not believing it was happening and kind of just like waiting for it to eventually, like, something to happen. But this team continues to get better each week. And now they got the Giants, a team that we've been talking about for how long, about kind of frauds, not really up to their play. And they're kind of exposing themselves a little bit the most recent weeks. But this is a game that we know this team would go up there and freaking lay an egg. And coming off a huge win, a divisional opponent. But I think you go up there and blow them out or win pretty handily, then I'm kind of like, all right. Like, this is pretty legit.
I feel like every week with you is like, they got to prove it to you.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like that's what's happening with the national media. Nobody's giving us any cred. Nobody's giving us anything. You know, they want somebody else because no one likes us and we don't care. But I'm saying that this team seems to be motivated by revenge, right? So this week, it's Bradbury's game, right? Bradbury, the Giants dumped his ass, right? Mm-hmm. Said, hey, we can't pay you. You know, situation we're in, we can't pay you. And Jalen last year went up there and had a stinker, right? So now I feel like everybody, they won't talk about it till afterwards, but that's what motivates these guys each week.
Yeah.
revenge, you know?
I think the main thing, I mean, without a doubt, it has been something they're not going to really talk about, but it's been something that you can really circle pretty much every game so far and kind of
Yes.
look at something.
Yes.
The main thing with me with this team is, like I said earlier, this was kind of the first game that I left that stadium this year kind of feeling like good. Like, obviously, I've left and felt good about every win that we've left that stadium with, but that was kind of one that they surprised me. Like, every game so far this year, I've gone in expecting them to win. And just because of the way the schedule's set up, that I think the way they handled Tennessee, the way that it wasn't, I mean, the second half was a blowout.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee was a good team.
They
Oh,
are a
man.
good
I
team.
mean,
And I'm
they're
not
a
trying to
good
prop
team.
them up. They are a
But
good team.
look at us. 8 minutes left. We got our subs in.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
We got Gardner Minshew playing quarterback. 8 minutes left in the game.
Exactly.
So we had that game wrapped up. I mean, there were Titan fans behind us. You know, one talking smack right in the beginning. Really quiet after that. You know.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. I feel like this was kind of like, not that I've ever like doubted other than that Colts game that they weren't going to win a football game this year, but like they've won some comfortable games, but they didn't really blow anybody out. And that was a dominant performance.
There were a lot of people talking that they were going to come in and beat us, you know, just
They've been
because of
doing
the
that all
previous
year.
week. You know, I mean, I feel like this team, we've talked about it in the past, where they have just the right pieces of veterans sprinkled into this locker room who have done this before, and they know what to expect. And they feed off of nobody giving us any respect.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, yeah.
The underdog. That is us. And, you know, I'm not going to get deep into the schedule because you play who's on your schedule.
No, I agree.
And we're taking care of everybody on our schedule. You know, will you look at it and go, was that really the first big team that was a test on the schedule? I mean, we haven't really played any top tier quarterbacks on
No,
the
I mean,
schedule,
I think there's been
right?
I think there's been games that are like, I feel like there's been games that you can be proud of, teams that you can build off of. I mean, the Vikings still is a big win looking back on that one. The Lions game continues to get better each week. You can say that to yourself all you want. I still think the Cardinals game was a big win at the time. I still think there are building block games that are pretty good,
You know,
but that was a statement
that
game.
Commanders game came at the right time.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel still like that was needed, right?
yeah,
We weren't going undefeated.
yeah,
We needed to get smacked, readjust, refocus, and, you know, the next week we came out, we had to really go to town with the Colts there.
yeah.
You know, and that was another one where, like, hey, we did something we don't normally do. And that could have turned into a couple games where we totally sucked,
Yeah, I mean, we talked
right?
about that, how quickly that could have been like, okay, there's a little bit of
Yeah.
panic here to, all right, we're back on schedule. I mean, that's just how football works. But without a doubt, that Colts game could have been a swinging pendulum. This Titans game could have been a get right game rather than a statement type of game here that it was this week. But yeah, I mean, it's mostly just week by week because as we continue to talk, it's not like we're 11-1, great, but it's not like we're sitting comfy anyway.
No, and I'm with you, man. I feel like this weekend, you know, Sunday, we need to go make another statement and just handle the Giants.
Yeah.
Which on paper, I think we should just handle them.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I think
again,
it'll be
it's a
tight. It's a
division
division
game,
game.
right?
It's up there. It'll be tight without a doubt. But I mean, I have faith in them to beat that team, and they're not a good team, and it's finally kind of showing that they're not as good of a team as people wanted to say earlier in the year. They were a decent story. I think kind of my assumption in the beginning of the year is they are going to be good in a couple of years, but they don't have the pieces currently to be that.
Yeah, a couple episodes, we're going to have to open the vault and go back and see where we thought we were going to have these guys. Because, I mean, honestly, I don't think we were sitting here thinking we were 11-1. We were thinking this was another stepping stone in the rebuild.
I mean, I can tell you right now, I had 11 wins all year. I can tell you that right now. I know that's for a fact that I had 11 wins for the season total. So
I mean, and Vegas had, what, 8?
yeah, I mean, I remember
we've already done that.
I remember getting like kind of laughed at when I said this is an 11-win football team, and they got 11 wins in 13 weeks. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of crazy as we continue to look at this where it is.
But like I said to him, you believe now?
Yeah.
Do you believe now? I do. I believe this
No, I
team-
believe now too, without a doubt.
I mean, you can
I do.
say what you want, but it feels like, this coaching staff, Howie, the organization notices their deficiencies and
Yeah.
coaches people up or goes out and gets people to fill in. And,
Yeah, I mean, I know we're running up on time a little bit here, but like it's kind of been like I don't always hate to throw it back to the Super Bowl year and compare it to the Super Bowl year, but we all know how every free agent signing that year hit.
Oh, yeah.
Everything was perfect,
Yeah.
and it's kind of been working out so far like that so far this year that literally every person that they've signed, went out and got has worked out like magically so far. So it kind of gives that vibe. I don't even know what the 2017 team was at this point. I know they weren't 11-1, but I mean, that's crazy. It really is crazy to think about. And I know it's step by step, you want division, conference, whatever, but a win this week and they're in the playoffs. Not that I'm really concerned about them not making the playoffs, but if you win this week, we're already clinched for the dance.
I don't feel like a tire's coming off this.
No,
this
I mean, I think it
Cadillac.
continues to get better each week. You had a step back, you hit a pothole, and you got back in. And you got the Giants this week, and like I said, you make a statement again, and you keep this thing going. And 12-1, and people are either going to have to accept it or keep doubting, and it doesn't really matter to these guys.
Yeah,
So what does it matter?
We don't care.
Exactly.
And these guys, I think, are fueled by it. So, more haters, the better.
Yeah, exactly. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next Wednesday, as always, as we break down the game. Thank you guys always for watching. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at birds_squawk. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Fly Eagles Fly.
Go Bird.